Welcome back. How's everybody this week? We're in February now. Hope everybody had a good week. Hope you had a good time. Hope people didn't stress you out. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope there was some wins. We'll see. Frida, what's going on? Cash, what's going on? Give people a little time to filter in before we start. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm looking at this week. Then what it goes into another conversation. Let me see. Make sure I got them lined up so we can talk about it. Let me make sure it's lined up here. No. There we go, right there. All right. So this week I've been looking at. I was like, I think I'm ready to get another Porsche, but I'm like, what I want. I said, but I don't want to get something too new because I want to mod it. And I was like, what do I want to mod? Which Porsche? So I've been looking. And this goes into a topic we're going to talk about today. And I was like, well, I can get one of the older ones and then soup them up. So I was like, well, let me go to see what CarMax got, right? So here's the 3911 CarMax got. Come on, filter. Why are you moving so slow? All right, so they got a 2015 and a 2014, and they're all three Carreras. And I was like, not really what I want to look, not really what I want for a second Porsche is the Carrera. Not, I don't want to go back that far, but I get it, right? So then I was like, well, we can always go into a Cayman. So then I started looking at Caymans, and I was like, okay, 40, 50. That's more my range that I want to spend because I just want to soup it up, right? I just want to I've been looking at different kits, putting some different tire rims on them, tires and rims, just looking at them. I was like, it still look nice on the inside. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. I don't want to go back to 2014 because you got to insert the key. So you have to go back to 2015 when you don't have to insert the key. Now you can see the price difference between a 14 and a 16. This one probably got miles on it. Don't have that many miles. And then you got to worry about like what people really did to them. So that's what I've been looking at. So then while I was looking, and this gets into the conversation, our first part of the show is Porsche is in a weakened state. And if they have to deliver on top of the tariffs, then they're gonna start pushing that down to the buyers. Now, with that being said, what happens is in this market, the older Porsches are gonna start to rise up in price because people are not gonna go out and spend the extra money when I can just go get an older Porsche. So then I got to thinking, well, what older Porsches would most people want? Most people want the turbos. I was stopped at the light the other day driving home, and the guy was like, what year is that? So forth and so on. He's like, he looking older, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, So then I got to thinking, and then I started looking at that. So I started looking at, well, what Porsches could I go buy? Maybe do a little something to them, resell it, like hold it, resell it. I don't want to do too much. I just want to do maybe like a stage one, stage two, maybe fix out the rim, do the little cleanup on them. I like this one. I like this S. This looks good. Now, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to spend 60. I want to be in the 40. And just think, this is a 2016. We in 2014. This almost 10 years old, right? So what I've been seeing with the Caymans, most people get rid of the little tail here, and they're gonna add a bigger wing on it. They'll probably do. I've seen people put like on the 718s, they put the GT4 kit on there, and they look good. They look good. This only got 17,000 miles. You could probably go in there. You could probably go in cash with this one and just say, hey, man, out the door, I got 50, 55 cash. They'll probably sell it to you. So 17,000 miles, that ain't bad for an S, Cayman S. But you can go again when you start going to Porsche and looking at the new ones, because I was just looking at a Porsche 2024. I'm pull it up. It was 248 or 284. I think it was 248. Let me show you what a 2024 is looking like. Let's get rid of that. Let's go by highest price. And let's move this. Let's keep going, because I don't know why all the Mercedes come up first. The other cars are at the bottom now. Let me go over here. Let me look. Let me go by model. Oh, why they don't have it up here? Did it get sold? It couldn't have got sold. I just looked at it last night. Not model. Right here, 286. 911 Turbo S 2024 is 286. Right? Turbo S 286 for 2024. And I think this probably don't have a lot of miles on it. 1678. Right? So with that being said, I have a feeling the Porsches that are on the lots right now are gonna go up. And I feel like the Porsches that are sitting on the lots, people are going to start increasing the price. The dealers are going to increase the price on them. So I'm not saying go buy a Porsche. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just showing you what I'm just showing what the market is looking like. It says little is going on right now. Porsche sales are slumping. Earnings are in the decline, and top executives are being ousted. Right? It says, and the market where buyers are still snapping up 911 sports cars and Cayenne sports utility vehicles, the president is saying new tariffs are coming. Porsche is especially vulnerable to the threats. Donald Trump is again lobbying at the European Union that Porsche does not have any United States factories. Right. So the German manufacturer has steadily grown the last 15 years in the U.S., which just overtook China as its number one market in the world. But Porsche's U.S. dealers are entirely reliant on imports, meaning they're going to start poaching people who got Porsches, because people going to want a Porsche and whatnot. So they're going to pay premium for them. If the tariff implemented is significantly above the 10%, then they would have to consider moving their some SUV productions to the US. Bloomberg intelligence analyst Michael Dean said Porsche and Mercedes Group AG would lose out most if Trump hikes up levies on European cars, he wrote in February 4th, meaning the Mercedes are going to go up in price as well too. So your Porsches and your Mercedes are going to go up in price. People are going to start fighting over what that is and what it's not. There's no quick fix to get the company out of its predicament. It can't easily leverage its parent Volkswagen AG's alone American plant in Tennessee because no Porsche model shares the underpinning with the Volkswagen Atlas or the ID4 SUVs manufactured here. Chief Executive Officer Oliver Bloom can ill afford the major investment that moving production around the world would require. Porsche has fallen further off the track from targets floated when the company staged one of Europe's biggest ever initial public offers in 2022. Its returns on sales will slump to as low as 10% this year. Half of the management once touted as a long-term target. The beat down outtook the downbeat, the downbeat outlook sent Porsche shares tumbling 7% on Friday to a new low since its IPO, 50.8 billion or 52 billion US dollars. The company is now worth less than half its peak market value in 2023. Porsche said late February 6th that it will make an 800 million hit this year, tied to expanding its product portfolio with more combustion engine and plug-in hybrid models. The company's first all-electric model, Taycan, got off to a fast start, and they plummet in net worth. Like those cars was up, and then they shot back down. Nobody like really wants them like that. Got off to a fast start in its 22, but sales has stumbled last year. A new EV version of the Macan sport utility has underwhelmed since launching years behind schedule. While disappointing demand for Porsche's EV has dogged the company in China, where deliveries fell 28%, this is less of an issue in the US. Plug-in car adoption has been slower across the industry. The American consumers have bought more Porsches in years, but not since 2009. Its long down year was 2020, which was the pandemic. Porsche will have a hard time maintaining the momentum if Trump follows through with the tariffs, meaning that the cars here are going to go up, right? We have millions of cars coming in BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, and so forth. Trump said while signing executive orders a day later, and we don't do anything about it. So here's what the outlook has been right here. If we look at the 9/11, which is in blue, you had a big peak, and of course you got the down year here, and then it rolls back up, and pretty much has been. If we look back across here, it hasn't come back down below this line here. So they've been steady the course. Same for the Cayenne. Cayenne increases sports utility. Oh, that's the Macan. The Porsche 911 is this one, the dark blue line. So it's been on an incline. Same way, I guess, with the 718, which I showed you, then the Taycan, and then the Panamera. So going back to what I was saying, one of these may hold its value, as you see in 2014. A 2014 with 42,000 miles is still going for like 41,000. You could probably knock some stuff off, but again, if you're looking at a car that's gonna hold value, I personally recommend the Porsche. If you're gonna buy, if you want a used sports car, that's my personal recommendation. You may see something else, but that's what I thought about. That was what I was looking at. All right, so let's get busy on the one thing. So we're gonna start over here with the jobs. So if you didn't come to Tuesday, if you didn't come to Wednesday night meetup, you missed a treat. You all should be coming to the meetups. In the meetups, we talk about a lot of things. We talk about a lot of things in terms of what is job interviews, like how to prepare for job interviews, how to start talking the language, how to change your verbiage in the interview, how to change your verbiage when you're talking about what the job is looking for, so forth and so on. So again, if you don't come to Wednesday night meetups, we have them every Wednesday. Been having them every Wednesday for the past 7, 8 years. Um, you missed a treat. All right, so one of the things I talked about was interviews on for these companies, right? So DCI is hiring, and like I said before, uh, I said this on the meetup. Normally, you don't see sysadmin jobs at 200-300. So I've been seeing them at 200-300. So right now on the screen, we got a red hat engineer at Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii, and the job is going for 160 to 200, right? 160 to 200. All right. So what does that mean? Like to you, they hire multiple candidates. They are the interviews so far that I've seen are one and done. I mean, you may have a conversation with somebody and then you get forwarded on to the interview, right? So again, one and done. I'm just telling you from my experience here. All right. So what are they looking for a red hat engineer? They want you to understand the satellite server. They want you to understand automation tools like Ansible, Puppet, Chef, SE Linux, package management, DNF, Yum, and scripting. Provide hardening, including FIPS and STIGs for hardening for rail systems. They're looking for somebody that's gonna come in and harden the systems. What are the two main ones certifications that they're looking for? RHCSA, RHCE. I wonder who talks about that. I don't know. Then they want somebody. If you have taken these classes, these terms are very familiar to you. KVM, TCP, DNS, NFS, firewalls, Docker, Podman, Kubernetes, OpenShift, LVM, SANS, NAS, experience with creating and deploying containers, have a TS. You could get a TS. You could just have a TS. Somebody will read you on for a SCI, and the pay is between 160 to 200. Back to how I always show you, if they offering that, right? If they say 160 to 200, you need to go to your calculator and add 160 plus 200 and then divide by 2. That means their first initial offering is going to be 180. You know there's wiggle room between 180 to 200. So if you know it's wiggle room between 180 to 200, you can go higher. Now, I just know who the actual client is for this particular one, and there's two of them actually. Two of them. And let me just say, you know who they are. Let me say it that way. I'll put it in the chat. All right. So with that being said, one and done, what I was told was what you see right here is not true. They can go higher. So what you see is middle of the road, but can go higher, right? So ask for what you want is what I was told. The only thing they can say is no. Okay. All right. So what other jobs do they have out here? All right. So they got this multiple IT discipline jobs. And looks like when I saw this, they're really looking for people with the full scopes for those jobs. And I think this near the proving grounds for these. So system engineers out in Fort Meade, looking for system engineers out here. Out in Fort Meade. Um, you can, if you've been in the industry for about 5 years, you could probably roll over and do system engineering, a cloud AWS, cloud system administrator. Yeah, you all don't ever hear a cloud sysadmin, but here it is. Here's a cloud sysadmin and admin job from 2 to 300 up in Herndon, right? And these jobs, all of them offer relocation, right? So if you're looking to relocate, there you go. Network architect 2 to 3. Um, a journeyman 180 to 225. A data engineer 140 to 180. An AI architect 160 to 200. I know you all saw that role that came out paying what 920. The role that paid out that was paying 920,000 um for a job here recently. It was I think tall guy had it. Let me look and see if I can find it. It's in the past week. It was a job. See if I can find it. I should have saved it. Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah. It's an engineering manager over at Netflix. That's what it is. Let me see if I can find that. This ain't no new thing for us, right? We talk about these jobs all the time. An engineering manager for foundation models development. The pay is from 190 to 920. We've all seen these. This ain't nothing new for us to be looking at. When we're talking about Netflix, we've seen these jobs come across. Here is the network engineer 2 to 3, an ISSE. There's a difference between an ISSO and an ISSE. The ISSO is really filling out paperwork, pushing things through. The ISSE is the engineer that's really hands on keyboard and doing the work. A lot of you be like, I'm going to get my CISSP, and that's great. But what does it mean if you're just doing the paperwork side? So you can be the engineer and do the ISSE side. And doing the ISSE side, you can be hands on keyboard, right? Hands on keyboard. I'm gonna tell you this. Be hands on keyboard till you can't be hands on keyboard no more. Be hands on keyboard till you can't be no more. I'm using my Umar impression this morning. Be hands on keyboard till you can't be hands on keyboard anymore. Now, what did I just say? Type in the chat what I just say. Type it 3 times. Let's see. Let's see if anybody paying attention this morning, D. I don't think they paying attention. What's going on, 17s? How you doing? I don't think they're paying attention, D. Be hands on keyboard till you can't be hands on keyboard anymore. It's a reason for that. Let's go see what Netflix got out here. That's right. Here's why you gotta be hands on keyboard. Let me tell you this. Once you become like middle manager and you got a senior person that can manage a team and themselves and be hands on keyboard, I don't need middle management anymore. I don't need you shuffling papers. I don't need you with the Hollywood shuffle. I don't need you with the Harlem shaking up in here. Be technical. Being technical, you can control where you want to go. Now, a lot of people say, no, management is the way. Management is the way if you are technical. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the minute they decide to get rid of management and you don't have any tech skills, you're then looking to go be manager somewhere else. But if you got tech skills and management skills, you can open up lanes. You can double dutch through tech. It's nothing like double dutching through tech, right? Why I gotta be subjected to just one thing? Now, when it come down to management, yeah, you sitting in rooms making decisions, and yeah, you delegating tasks. But I don't need that many managers to delegate tasks. I can get technical. I can get a team of technical leads in a room and delegate tasks. I really don't need management. Now I may need management to give me a layer so that I don't have to interact with that many people. But if I really want to cut costs, I just cut out management and leave my technical people, my technical leads, and let my technical leads go do tech things. And I can then train them how I want to receive information. Y'all get together and make me some PowerPoint deck slides and summarize this. Have that into my office every Friday to review. I don't need no manager for that. Now, if I want to have a technical manager kind of inserted in there, I could. But somebody shuckling and jiving papers, I don't need that. I just don't. I don't need that. I don't need a manager to tell me. I don't need to tell a manager to go tell someone. You see what I'm saying? Like it get lost in translation when you got too much management. I'm just telling you. I've seen it. I've seen people come in and they hire all these managers, and the managers be the first one to go. They're gonna keep the technical people because why? Why do you think they keep the technical people? I know somebody gonna say something and it's not gonna be what I want, but I'm gonna see how y'all pay attention. Why do you think they keep the technical people? And the answer is not because they do the work. That's not the answer. I'll tell you, they keep the technical people. They keep the technical people because the technical people got to get the stuff to the customers. Managers ain't getting nothing to the customers. The technical people getting the work done to the customers. Now, where the managers come into play could be, not all the time, is helping pull the voice in of what everybody else is saying and driving what we need to do. However, the technical people also interact with the customers, sales engineers, bringing in a technical person, sit on what's the priority, where we need to go, what we want, right? But if I got this manager sitting here and all they doing is holding meetings and giving status updates, I can go look at a board for a status update. I can designate technical leads to say at the end of every Thursday at 2 o'clock, I need a status update. What's been completed for the week, where we're at, what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. If I ain't got that, then you know what I'm saying? I don't need you. That's what the Jira boards are for. I can tell you what you're doing and what you're not doing. I can see that. All right, so on the screen, I pulled up Netflix just on Indeed just to see what they got. A senior software engineer, 100 to 720, a manager, Partner analytics, infrastructure 170 400, engineer manager 190 to 920, senior engineer manager compute. They don't have that, but they had it up there before. I think that was like between 100 to 920. Again, 720, 720, 920. Again, would take the range and fall in the middle, divide it up in half, then come up with that's what they probably gonna offer at the rip. But it can go as high as principal specialist, ISP, interconnection, the technical program manager, senior manager, games data center, deployment engineer, L4, L5. Those that are looking at want to be in working in data centers. Here you go. Let's see what they got. Concurrent deployments while driving process improvements. You'll plan, document, oversee complex data center builds, deployments, managing global remote hand vendors. Learn about Netflix unique way. Project manage the design, planning, deployment. Collaborate with cross-functional teams. Produce and maintain comprehensive documentation, rack elevation, run books, handover documents. SBOM, the SBOM class that's out there for free on CNCF. You can go look that up. Manage remote hand vendors, collaborate, lead complex network upgrades, remote configuration data center hardware. This is all in the data center from 100 to 720. A network engineer at Netflix, software engineer, and then there's there's 4 more pages out there. Right. So if you're wondering what's happening, if you want to go work at Netflix, you should start looking and apply. What's gonna hurt you? Find someone in Netflix too, to go in and have an advocate for you as well too. Right. I guess my question is, who wants to live in Los Gatos, California? Would you move? Would you move? If you had to live in Los Gatos, would you move? Let's look at what's for sale. Let's look at type. Let's look at a house. Just curious. See if you all will be moving to Los Gatos. Let's go sort by. Let's go low to high. You can get you a shack for $350. There you go. Now I don't know what your commute is like. I don't know what your commute is like. I don't know what the commute is like, but here you go. I'm just saying, you got some options. Could you make it on a salary of say 700,000 and go find a place to live out there? Right? Because I know some of y'all want to be fancy. I know some of y'all want to be fancy. D, what's the name of these trees? What are these redwoods? I know some of y'all want to be fancy and live outside. but it's not a bad deal if you're making 700,000. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that like it's not expensive. I'm just pointing out, you know, some options. This look like you could probably rent this out too. Look like it got an additional space back there in the back. All right, so let's go here. 'Cause, everybody be like, Tameika, I don't want no house. I'm on I wanna I wanna rent. I want me an apartment or a townhome. Let's go with a townhome. 35, 28, 31, 36, 32. Or one bedroom. That's a big one bedroom. 1660. Right. 4,000, 6,500, 2,900. So that's what your townhomes look like. Then we go with your apartments, see what we're pulling back. 3,000 off the rip. So you can either buy a house or you can get you can either buy a house or get you a townhome. Because your apartments is looking steep. Looking like houses. But I get it. It's more than going to a house. I get it. This is an apartment. You got a little deck back there. You got stackables. Probably got a little trail. The bay tree. I'm sure you can find other ones. This is just what I saw. That one is 4,000 a month. I just wanted to see what you was getting for $3,600 a month. So those that are not familiar where Los Gatos is. So there it is right here. Right there. There's San Jose. It's Los Gatos. I'm sure people live all around this area here. So you don't have to necessarily live in Los Gatos. I'm one of the ones. I like to live in the city where I work at and not be more than 25 minutes to 30 minutes away. I don't want to live like, you know, far. Oh yeah, that California will eat that tax up. But you know what? What I'm not sure about is if some of those jobs are remote, and some of them do seem to be remote. You could probably still stay in your states like Texas and Texas and California, Texas and Florida, or states with no income tax, or Washington State, and claim those cities as your home as you work out of. I did it. So, just something to keep in mind, right? Now, when we're talking about making decisions on living in these type of cities where you're new, you really don't know people and so forth, and I'm just gonna give you from my experience. I'm gonna give you from my experience. My first time moving from Atlanta to Hawaii. This is Tameika's experience. Y'all remember coming from Atlanta all black, your black mayors. I never look. I was talking to D. I was like, all mayors black. like, that's all I knew. Um, the city was black. Everybody was black. Everything you did was black. Switch that up. You move to Hawaii. Everything ain't black. So the question you have to ask: can you adjust? And a lot of times, what I've seen is folks coming out of the southeast, no shade, can't make adjustments in other cities. Why? Typically, you're around probably maybe three cultures at the most, right? And now when I say three cultures at the most, I'm talking about in majority: black, white, and Hispanic. You run into Asians, but you don't have a large population like you would say in the Bay Area, large population like you would say maybe in DC, not DC, but Washington State, West Coast, period. I look at the country in two aspects. Just right down the center, once you get down to central Texas, like the middle of Texas, that's when you get pockets of black people versus you get majority cities of black people when you're on in the southeast. And 56% of the blacks live in the southeast. So now the question is, can you adapt? If you moved out to the Bay Area, can you adapt? If you moved out to Silicon Valley, can you adapt? If you move out to Phoenix, Arizona, if you moved out to Boulder, Colorado, can you adapt? Now, I just having this discussion with a friend of mine, and we were talking, and this is just my own experience. When I tell you about these jobs that are intel, um, satellites, tactical systems, um, edge computing, quantum. When I tell you we're not in those areas, we're not in those areas. When I also tell you we're not in those areas, I mean we don't live in those areas where they're actually employing people. For example, when we're talking about space and like Colorado Springs, I'm just gonna show you. So here is the black population of Colorado. The black population of Colorado, the entire state, is 233,000. Let's put that in perspective, right? 233,000. Probably 70,000 of them live in Aurora, right? And this is in 2023. So now you start asking about what cities in California are not California, in Colorado are what cities are the bases in, the most military based DOD things going on. That is your Boulder, that is your Colorado Springs, your Aurora, um, Longmont. That's where you're looking at. So now let's go look at black population of Longmont, Colorado. 0.9%. Colorado Springs, you'll be fine. It really, really, really. Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you my experience from living in Colorado and meeting people from Colorado Springs. Standing outside a cigar bar in downtown Denver, a black guy walked up to me. It was two black guys and a white girl, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm just so happy to see a black person. I was like, where you at? He's like, I'm in Colorado Springs. We don't see black people. Just what the guy told me. Right? Longmont, literally 1,000 black people are in Longmont. Longmont, IBM has 500 acres in Longmont. Surrounding cities. So let's talk about what's in Longmont. Longmont, Boulder, they right there together. Bolo, if you want to call it, or Lobo. Longmont, Boulder, Lobo, Boulder, Longmont, Bolo. You can go either way. Right. So let's go look at Boulder. They're not that far apart. 1.3. Census Bureau says 1.3 of black people live in Boulder. So you put them together, you got 2%. Mr. Nix, thank you for joining. I can't see what member you are. Just says what member. Oh, you upgraded to the 300K. I appreciate you. So when I say, like, a lot of times we're not in these industries, we're not even living in the places where they're hiring for those industries. DC happens to be the unique place. However, we still don't live in those cities where they're making the most money at. Does that make sense? We don't live in those cities. Thank you. I appreciate you, Mr. Nix. Does that make sense to everybody? We don't live in the cities where they're making the most money, so we won't be in those industries. Number one, and number two, we won't. Not all. I'm gonna throw out a number. I'm gonna say 70% of us won't even move to those areas because we don't see people that look like us. We're gonna feel uncomfortable because we don't see people that don't look like us, but they ones that making the most money in those areas. And what I'm saying to you is, I know this because I subject myself to it. I move into the areas because I know that's where they're gonna be making the money at. So it takes a certain type of mindset in order to do it, and then you got to have your eye on the prize. And I don't think a lot of people can do it. You can go to DC and do it, but you still got to know what areas to live and move in order to make it happen. Here's what I'm talking about. A lot of people will move to DC and be like, you know what, I'm going to live in Maryland. Yeah, you can make some of that money in Maryland, depending on the contract and depending on what they're doing. But most of the big ones are in Virginia. Most of the big ones where they pay the money, they're in Virginia. The Loudoun counties, the Ashburns, the Herndons. We want to make the commute because we want to be around us and we want to go down the street and see us and food and blah 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 blah. We don't move to where the money is at because, again, it's a couple of things that go to play: the skill sets, the food, the ability to go get your hair done, your nails done, and so forth and so on. You may have to commute on the weekends. You may have to be uncomfortable on the weekends to commute to go do your thing. But I'm just telling you from my experience, you either live in the area or you don't live in the area. So let me give you this one. Broomfield, Colorado. It dropped. It dropped. 984 black people in Broomfield, Colorado. The other one I was talking about was Littleton. Only 400 black people. You ain't gonna see nobody black. Arvada, you know who is you know who got an office out in Arvada or near Arvada? They're a chip maker. Broadcom, right? Broadcom. So let me show you how to. I'm just trying to show you how things work. You just gotta you don't be paying. You probably don't pay attention to them. Let's go look at Arvada. I'm gonna do this from low to high on the houses. This is from low to high on the houses in Arvada, Colorado. From low to high. And let me go in here and make sure I get rid of multifamily. And let me go to houses. Let me hit apply. You got a 430, but look at what you're getting now for 430, 485, 485,858 square feet, a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Let's go ahead and say the average person wants a 3-2. We'll even take it one step further and say you probably want 1,500 to 2,000 square feet at a minimum. Look at what you're getting. I'm just trying to show you what it looks like. If you want the other houses, the other style houses, let's go from high to low. Let's go from high to low. This 6 bedroom, 6 bath house is 1.8. This is when again we're flipping. Oops. I want to click off. All right, so let me go down a little further. It's like, Tameika, I'm not doing that. I'm like, okay, I get you. I'm gonna keep going down. I'm trying to get down to the 700s, so maybe on the next page. Go 3 pages down. All right, so for the 700s, this is what you get for the 700,000, and most of you will be like, these are regular houses, and they are, regular houses sitting in the valley. These are regular houses. So here we go. They do. It's right outside. What's it called? It may not be called Arvada right there. Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, VMware, Broadcom, Broomfield, right there. So Fort Collins is not where it's at. Broadcom, Colorado Springs, and they have one right there in Broomfield. I guess that's still considered Broomfield. I don't think that was Broomfield, but whatever if they say so. So they got a VMware location. So in Broomfield, there is a technology part right there, and I talked about that. But there's another location they actually have because I drove past it. But most black people live in Aurora. That's where you're going. I think Aurora's got the largest black population in the states. You said, yep, you've been working for Broadcom remotely for the past year. The pay is good. Yep. So when I talk about like these DoD contracts and where the money is at, you have to remember where the locations are at as well too, right? So now let's go and do our search for. Let's go look at let's go look at the black population in Los Gatos. $2.8. Now the table switch. You got 39% Asian, 25% black, 2.8%, I mean 25% Hispanic, 2.8% black, 1.2% Native American, 30% white. Now you flip. Now you flip. Now the question is, can you find what you need in those areas? How are you going to search? Now here's the one thing that's been great about the Instagram, the TikToks, the Snapchats, the Yelps that have came about. The ability to find black events, the ability to find black culture if you so seek it, the ability to find people has has had the ability to increase that visibility, where you can go on Instagram and say, well, within a 40-mile radius of where I'm at, can I find somebody? I don't mind the commute if the person can do my hair right. Right. So looking at that from that perspective. The other thing that I want to point out that what D saying is the commute is taxing. It is very taxing if you have a job that requires a lot of mental capacity, because the time, listen, there's a difference. You can work a lot of hours and not get tired. You can work 5 hours and be tired because of the mental strain that you had for them 5 hours. So again, you got to consider the job and the commute and who you are as a person and what you need. I got a couple of friends that say they live in California, and they can go for weeks without seeing a black person. Right? They can go for weeks without seeing a black person. Yeah, VMware sold to got bought by Broadcom. Right? So why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you this because sometimes the jobs that y'all are looking for are not in the cities in which you live in. The jobs that are paying are not in the cities in which you live in. And you have to make a decision on if you're emotionally and mentally capable of moving out of those cities. Some of you have to be around your family. You can't be away from your family. That's not going to fly for you. That ain't a thing for you. Some of you are like, I got to see my mama and daddy and them every week. I got to go. I got to be around them. I got to touch them. I got to breathe them. I can't be away from my family. I can't do that. There's no way. Yeah. Some of you can't do that. Some of you also can't be away from your friends. You might be like, well, I don't need to be around my family, but I need my friends. And then some of you will lose friends because you want to go do something else. Some of you will lose friends. You're like, Tameika, they want your friend. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe they were your friends and they just haven't grown up yet. Living in Utah has prepared me for the departure for other opportunities. Listen, You ain't got to tell me I've been to Utah. Utah is bland. Utah is a bland. I'm expecting raisins in my potato salad. Let's go here. Let's see. Black population. I think Roy, Utah is the place. Roy, Utah had a black population that was the 28th largest in 2021. Let's see. The black population in Utah is 2.1%. 2.1. 354 people. All right, Roy, Utah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 354. Wow. 354. Look, it had a big population boost. Look at y'all. For real, you probably walk outside and be the only one. Now, let's go and look at let's go here. Black population of Atlanta, Georgia. 235,000 people. Remember, I said that it was 232,000 black people in the state of Colorado. The city of Atlanta had 235,000. Just the city. I ain't talking about the metro. I ain't talking about metro Atlanta. I'm talking about the city. Right? Some of you will never leave the Southeast. And it's not a bad thing that you don't leave, but there's also a cap on how much you make. Right? So let's go and look at what the other places y'all like to move to. Houston, Texas. 514,000 in the city. Y'all everywhere. Now the question is, between Atlanta and Houston and even DC, it's DC itself, not Virginia, but just DC, Chocolate City. What's the most amount of money that you've made in those areas? And what's the most amount of money that you see posted for jobs in those areas? Do you see jobs posted at 1 million? Do you see jobs posted at 300,000? Probably. What about 500,000? Do you see jobs posted at 500,000 in Atlanta, DC, Houston? Let's pull up Dallas. $307,000. Do you see the jobs that are paying 4, 5, 6, and 7? Do you see that? So back to Utah. Cutting edge high performance computing companies in North America. Utah is where you're going to find a lot of research, a lot of stuff centered around high performance computing. Center for High Performance Computing, University of Utah. I'm not saying you're not going to find high performance computing in other cities such as your Washington State and Seattle area. You probably find that at Georgia Tech, but you don't find us in those communities in abundance. There's a few out there. I know a couple of them, but we don't find us in abundance. So keep that in mind when you're looking at jobs and you see the big salaries. Look at the cities. Go look at the black population. Go see the surrounding cities that may have a larger black population. You may want to live in those cities, but then also understand your commute and what you're giving up. You don't look at these things till you get there. Right? What do you want to eat? Most of y'all run down the street and go get you 10 chicken wings from your favorite spot, from your favorite gas station. Jamaican food in Utah? Farida, do you have Jamaican food in Utah? I saw a lot of Mexican food out in Colorado. And it was horrible. Saw a lot of Mexican food spots. Not really. So as you factor things in, what's your preference? What you looking for? Right? CarMax. Talk about the Porsche. All right, let's talk about it. What are they predicting in the year 2025 as as hot topics? It's one topic on here that I thought was worth mentioning. I'm going to share with you what they think, but I'm going to share with you what I think about this topic. All right, so they got Trump and Musk will fall out, the global trade restructuring amidst tariffs, Nvidia will struggle to keep up with elevated expectations, Doge will struggle to cut significant spending. The S&P 500 makes new highs with 10 to 15% return. The AI infrastructure build out will accelerate. That's one. US Bitcoin strategic reserve will kick off more adoption. Gold will make an all new time high. Netflix streaming services will push further to live events. Robo taxis available in major cities, and OpenAI reveals their first AI hardware product. Now, these are what they're predicting. I think, just me personally, this conversation around Netflix streaming services and going ahead, forecasting ahead, I think is a big one. I'm gonna tell you why. We saw the event with Beyonce, right? We also are going to start seeing more Netflix live events. They have the infrastructure already. What I am surprised about, what I have not seen, and maybe people are not interested. Yep, Tyson is another one. Taking Broadway plays and bringing them to streaming studios. I would love to see a Broadway play out of New York streamed maybe to a external streaming location. Say you have a streaming house. Say you have a place like a coffee shop and they have, like, I don't know, um a soldier story or something like that. They do a play of, and they have Broadway plays streamed to external locations where you can then require people, they if they come into the Broadway location to be streamed, and then no, it won't die, because what will happen is the people in New York will start adopting it as well too. But just imagine the money that the actors also could make off of it as well. Because now you're streaming to a remote location. Oh, we want in on the streaming services as well too. We want money on that. You got somebody coming, y'all streaming this, y'all packing the house. We want money on the door. Right? We want money on the door, and we and we want money on the location of where you stream. It's just an increase in profit. I'm just saying. But the streaming of live events is gonna go up. That increases the footprint of the data centers as well too, because they're people are skipping the retrofit of the data centers. They're just building new ones. There's like, screw it, we're just gonna build. And that's another thing. Well, y'all see these data centers being built, go buy some land. I keep telling you, I always thought land was a great deal. All right, just my thoughts. All right, Nvidia, to put it in for proper perspective, I thought this was cool, to showcase how much money they lost. That $560 billion market cap. Let's look at it. Let me show it. Let's look at what that looks like. So Nvidia, the 29th, 197, then July 205, 205, 206, 208, 212, 228, and then boom, down here. This is what 560 billion loss looks like. Put it in perspective. Meta lost 251 billion February the 3rd of 2022. Nvidia just took a loss here. Yep, I invest in Sketch. Let's keep going. All right. This is a cool thing too. This is showing you the Google's thirstiest data centers. Yeah, I'm sure you felt that. Everybody felt that Nvidia hit. All right, so look here. Number one is Iowa, but let's look at it. Most water consumed data centers for Google. Google data centers consume about 6 billion gallons of water a year, and it's enough to maintain 41 golf courses. So imagine we building more data centers. Water is a precious commodity. So it's making it. So we got Council Bluffs, Iowa, Maize, Oklahoma, Berkeley, South Carolina, and you can take all of these and go look at those areas and see what the houses are in those areas, to see what companies have came into those areas as well too. You can do this for all the data centers for Google, Amazon, AWS, Oracle, right? Berkeley County, South Carolina, Douglas County, Atlanta, Leesburg, Virginia, New Albany, Ohio, Ashburn, Sterling, and Leesburg. and then they just got the rest of America. How many of y'all are familiar with Sterling, Virginia, and Ashburg? And I mean Ashburn. So we go to Sterling. We'll go low to high. Old school house, 629. And you might want an old school house. This house right here, it's got to be sitting on land. It's got to be sitting on something for 824,000. Let me look. Yeah, it's sitting on 3.69 acres. I'm like, it got to be sitting on some land for 824,000. That's a little shack. You don't even have no garage. It just look like they popped a home on some land. You and your little shackarooty. Look at you and your little shack. You're so cute. You and your little shack. 899. Now you step up. And that looked like a one-car garage. Nice house, but I want more than that one little car garage they got. $10,000 square foot lot. A fireplace. I'm just looking to see if that's really a one-car garage or is it one of them. Yeah, one space. They built a house with a $900,000 house with one car. They said it's got an attached space. Attached space. What? Who did this? Why would you do that? I want to. But this just to show you what's in the area. Okay, so you see the prices in the area. So tech companies in Sterling, Virginia. I'll go down to what you call it. It'll probably be better if I use Zipper. All right. So REI. Let me see. Drive IQs are Diligent Group, NITEC. Um, that's what they gave the best. Here we go right here. Uninet, Viatech, Telecommunication, Computer Designs, Rosetta Stone, T-Mobile, Comcast, Verizon, Microsoft, Westcom, Cognizant, AT&T, REI, Insight, App, I guess, App, ATPCO, Threat Quotient, AOL, CGI. Now, looking at these companies, I bet you, I know for a fact, most of them do government contracting. Most of them do government contracting. Now, Let's do what we've been doing. Black population in Sterling, Virginia is 6.4% black. Sterling, popular destination for home buyers in Northern Virginia, is known for its high-tech data centers, shopping malls, and suburban residential communities. Ashburn, 3,500 black people. Reston, 6,000, and Chantilly, 833. and, and Chantilly, I believe you. All right. So why am I mentioning these three? These three cities, Chantilly, or four cities: Sterling, Chantilly, Ashburn, Reston. Why am I mentioning those cities? We can go on and talk about Herndon. Let me throw Herndon and Reston. Let me throw Herndon, Reston. I mean, let me throw Herndon in there. 8%. 1818. Falls Church, 692. JM, well, that's the discussion we having. If most of the people, see, I told you, if most of the people there don't look like me, I'm not interested. This goes back to my original point. My original point is majority of the times we would not move to the areas where there are not majority of the people that look like us. So most of the time, the companies that are offering the jobs that are paying 500, 600, 700, a million are not in the cities in which we are majority of the population, especially when it comes to tech. So Herndon, Chantilly, Falls Church are more than likely you will find your jobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Haven't seen 6, 7 coming out of Herndon or Chantilly. Not to say they don't exist, I just ain't seen them. Now, let's take it and put it in another perspective. Most people who work in the DMV area commute on two extremes. They commute to your Falls Church, your Chantilly, your Reston, your Herndon, or they live in Maryland and they go work on Fort Meade or one of the triple letter agencies down 295. Now, with the demand for everybody to go into the office and you live way out in PG County and you want to commute back to Chantilly every day during the height of traffic, right? I can tell you what Fairfax is. I lived in Fairfax. Let's go. Well, what's the guess? We're gonna say I'm gonna say Fairfax probably about 2,000. It may be more. 1423. And you say Alexandria got more because you closer to the city. 21%. Yeah. And Alexandria, you got more. You closer to the city. So yeah, 21% of Virginia's Alexandria, Virginia's black population is African American. Absolutely. You close to the city. I'm 8 minutes from the Pentagon. I'm 8 minutes from the airport. I mean from yeah, from the airport. Yeah, black population in Alexandria, most definitely. Yeah, yeah. When you start going out here, Fairfax, Ashburn, Sterling, let's look at Sterling. 6.4%. Sterling's population is 31,000. Um, five of the largest ethnic groups in Sterling are white, non-Hispanic, Hispanic, Asian Hispanic, white, and two plus Hispanic. Right. So the last but not least, my favorite one to talk about, because I know we ain't out there like that. So it says black or African American population in Loudoun County, Virginia was 31,000 people. Loudoun County info. Let's just put up information. We'll talk about Loudoun. Mm, Let's see. Loudoun County, expensive. Yep. Loudoun County, Virginia is very expensive with a high medium household income and expensive housing. In 2025, Loudoun County had a median household income of $178,000, making it one of the richest counties in the United States. In 2022, the median household income was 170,000. The median house in Loudoun is 690. This is right now what they got. The wealthiest county in the United States is not where you think. Wineries, horse country, and historic towns and lush English countryside are straight out of fairy tale. Loudoun County, Virginia, is the wealthiest county in the United States. And we say we're not living in the areas where it don't look like us. What I'm trying to tell you is that's great and that's fine, but that's where some of the jobs are at. No, nah, not Dulles. Not at all. How to get to Loudoun County? What does it look like in Loudoun County? Walkable historic towns, blah blah blah. Again, we're talking about Loudoun County. Horse capital, so forth and so on. Now, with that being said, there are a lot of data centers out in Loudoun County. There are a lot of people that work and live around those surrounding areas. We out there, we just not in abundance, but we out there. Some places you ain't gonna be able to really catch no bus and stuff too. Like it's just hard. Let me look before I pull this up on screen. I'm reading something and I just thought it was crazy. But anyway, I'll show you what I'm looking at. I ain't gonna say their name on the live, but you can figure it out where I'm looking at. They're in Chantilly. They are a triple letter agency. Uh, and here's the set of jobs that they're looking for people. You can go check them out as well too. General requirements, blah 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 blah. It will be a drug test. Just letting you know. But out of this surrounding this place right here and what surrounds it in Chantilly and in Fairfax, there's no way you can't. There, it's not even possible in the tech fields for you to be in that area and work a job paying you less than 100. It ain't possible. That's like, I'm just putting it out there. And somebody tell me I'm wrong. It's just not possible. Let's go here. I'm just type Linux. And then let's type Chantilly. We're just gonna hit search. And then we're gonna come in here. We're gonna leave that as is. We're gonna look at pay. Let's go 175 and up. 50 miles is fine. That's typical commute there. So mid senior DevOps 150, 225, 275, 350. That McLean, Reston, within 50 miles. You're not gonna find a job paying 100,000. It's gonna be more than that. It just can't. It don't it don't make it doesn't make financial sense for you to even be in the area with a job paying 100,000, and you won't even see your money. You just wouldn't. And all you have to do is get your RHCE, your RHCSA, get your clearance, get somebody to sponsor it, and then start increasing your skills. Open shift is hot right now. They calling people left and right. You got open shift experience? How much you got? You think you can come work this job? What are you thinking? What are they paying you right now? Can you work it part time? Okay, cool. Right? You said you're in Chicago. Yeah, yeah. Chicago, New York. Um, the, yeah, Boston, Connecticut area. Yeah. But anything outside of that, you can forget about it. So again, like I say, when you're looking at these jobs, look at the areas in which you're living in or have to commute to. And then start looking at the jobs surrounding the company surrounding those areas. The $1 million jobs, you probably won't see us in those areas. I'm just being honest. We don't live in those areas. We commute to those areas, right? We commute to those areas. Is that a bad thing? No. But let's talk about it for a hot second. What does it really mean for you to commute to those areas on a daily basis, 5 days a week? Let's start with our list. Let's make a list. Because I understand, but I don't think it's been put into the right picture. Let's do file new. We'll minimize this. And then we're gonna make this 64. Maybe 40, 48. So commute, car. What do you need to do with that car? Maintenance, tires, um, clean it. All right. Maintenance, tires, cars, clean it. Um, of course, brakes or whatever. Time. Typically an hour. Uh, one way. What else? Mental health. Um, prep time. So prep time is getting up. Mental health. Traffic. What else? Clothes. Um, gas. Thanks, Steve. What else you got? You got clothes, food, gym. Oh yeah, we might as well add tolls as a separate one. So if you don't live in the area, you got car maintenance to hassle with, tires, keep it clean, gas, time typically 1 hour. Yep, kids, family. I put family. Your mental health in traffic and out of traffic, your prep time, getting up in the morning, prepping, whatever that may look like. Clothes, what you need for work, what you need to go to the gym, what you need for whatever. Food, gym, tolls, family. You could probably go to the gym right after work, or you can go to the gym at work. But if you commute home and then gotta go to the gym, you probably ain't gonna go. Especially if you got an hour commute. Sleeping time. Those that want to get up and be at work, be up and out of the house at 5 o'clock in the morning, to be at work at 6 or 7, to get off by 2 or 3, but you got to be there to 3. You hit traffic. You may get home at 5. You prepped on the weekend with your food. You can run to the gym and do your thing. You relax. You cool, but you only got a window from 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock at night. That's your time from 5 to 9. Because you're going to bed. Because you got to be up at 5. You're not going to bed at 12 or only get 4 hours of sleep. By the time 9 o'clock roll around, you like, I'm up and I gotta go. So when I say like this is the tax of two things. It's the tax of not being able to afford to live where you work, and the tax of to being able to afford to live in the community and then commute to work. You can live in your community and have these things that you have to focus on throughout the day, throughout the week. Or you can live in another community. Now here's the here's the good current and bad current of this. Because I'm sure everyone thinks about this. If I live in a community in which there is not a majority of me that look like me, then I'm making that community richer and taking resources and putting it into their community and not my own community, but I can only put resources into my community if I'm over there on the weekend. My property values shifts and changes as well too. The schools that I can put my kids in changes as well too. If I have to put them in some type of prep school, then I change that as well too, because now who my kids interact with and who my kids interact with over here is different. But they ain't really doing that. They ain't doing it like that over here. And if they are doing it like that, I got to make the money to afford for them to go to the school where they're doing it like that. Or I gotta have a tutor or stay-at-home wife or stay-at-home dad. That's why when people be arguing back and forth online talking about her education don't matter, her money don't matter, what she talking about don't matter. It don't matter if you're not living in these places where the cost of living is high. If you're living in a Chantilly, if you're living in an Ashburn, if you're living in a place where the minimum household is a house is 700,000 and you got a job and it's paying you 100,000, 120, you're gonna need two of them. Yeah, but everybody don't want to send their child to public school. You can't use me as an example, JM. You can't use me as an example. You can't use me as an example. Everybody don't want to send their child to public schools. Everybody don't want to send their child to a private school. Everybody don't want to homeschool their kids. You can't use me as an example. I'm gonna tell you why you can't use me as an example. I went to public high school. I turned out fine. You don't know what it took for me to turn out fine. You don't know the struggle I had to go through to get to where I'm at. Had I went to probably a predominantly black high school with great teachers and great tutors and so forth, I might not see again. You kind of look at it for you looking at it different. You don't know what it took for me to get here. You don't know the amount of teachers and after school and crying and things and being frustrated, failing classes. You don't know. You don't know. So the fact that you look at the outcome, you don't know what happened before that. Now here's a different way to look at it, because I'm talking about this for a reason. Had we had a community where we could lean on and have tutors that were available to help with math and reading for us in the community, and I'm really talking about within a 15-mile radius, where that kid could catch the bus and go there, or they had some type of bus system that would go pick the kids up and spend time with them on the math and getting them before the 6th grade. Imagine if your child, and I don't know what it is right now. They probably I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know when they teaching geometry and algebra. Are they teaching in the 3rd grade now? I don't know. But your math and your reading, and really your math, is what separates you from being an engineer. That's what separates you. Because you can't figure out how to do polynomials, because you can't figure out how to find the area of a circle and a square, because you can't figure out how to do derivatives and integrals, is what's separating you from your child, from having the ability to get a job paying and 50,000 versus the job paying 50,000, because they can get the job paying 50,000. The time that it takes to get them to from 50,000 to 150,000 is the issue. The issue is you spend your time making 50,000, 55, 56, 57. Next thing you look around, it's 10 years. You only at 65,000, 67. You trying to get to 100. You looking at yourself like, I'm worn out. I got car, time, mental, prep time, clothes, food, gym, toes, family. Oh, and guess what? I still got to take care of me. I got to take care of me. I still got to go to school. You still got to do all that. And then you're going to sit up here and say, oh, we ain't got to go to school. They don't need no education. They don't need to worry about that. Good. I'm glad they have a geometry algebra in first and second grade. The prep time that it takes for you to get up in the morning, and the prep time that it takes you for you to get up in the morning, and everyone else in the house and everybody is working on cylinders. They firing off. Boom, boom, boom. Brush your teeth, comb your hair. Boom, 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 boom. If we're talking about, I am going to I got to get my family together. I can't get my family together unless I got me together. And let's not forget, you all want to then take the kids and put them in extracurricular activities like cheerleading, band, football, soccer. And you gonna tell me that you don't need to go make some money? Y'all crazy. Piano, guitar classes, choir, singing. What you want your family to have an experience. So you want to go take them on a nice vacation. I want to take the whole family to Africa. I want us to go have a nice vacation where we on a family related resort where we can get some me time and some family time. And then you want to sit up here and tell me y'all gonna do this all on 50,000? Because let me tell you what you're gonna tell me next. Tameika, you got a budget. What's there to budget? Ain't shit the budget. We ain't got it. Ain't nothing to budget. Ain't no budget. Ain't no budget. You and I ain't even putting here savings. Savings is a mental work. It's mental work. Y'all ain't even we ain't even in the same damn conversation. The only thing you like skip that, Tameika. We're not going to Africa. We're not going to go on no resort. We're going to go to Disney. And I'm gonna look at you and be like, okay. You still got to have insurance on your house, insurance on your body. Oh, and guess what? You probably make the most money in your family. So guess what? Your family calling you, talking about, Pookie got arrested. And we trying to raise some money for his daughter. She's struggling. Mm-hmm. The baby ain't got no food, ain't got no shoes. Sorry for that baby. Sorry for that baby. Sorry for that baby. Y'all listen, you got to look at this from a perspective. I don't come up here every week and tell you something that I have not experienced or that I don't see. I'm just telling you from the jobs that I see, they're normally not in our community. Is it by design? Sure, we could say that. Here's the other aspect of it. The other aspect of it. When we look at all our HBCUs, and the surrounding area they normally don't have anything in terms of jobs. DC is the exception that those kids can roll into. So those kids don't stay in the area. The alums don't stay in the area. They stay in the city, but they don't stay in the area. I went to Clark, but I live in Stone Mountain. I went to Clark, but I live in Smyrna. I went to Clark, but I live in Conyers, or I live in Midtown. I don't have a $2 million home down the street. I'm just telling you, sometimes at some point, and no one wants to hear this, and people hate when I see it, they're going to listen. You probably going to say I'm shuckling jiving for the man, or I'm coon, or whatever. What I'm telling you is sometimes you're going to have to leave the community and go into other spaces to get the money that you want and you need so you can have a better quality of life for your own damn family. And sometimes you might be the only motherfucker that do it. That's it. You got to pick and choose what that's going to look like for you. If I know I got the skill set, why the hell won't I go work that job that's going to pay me the million? Let me tell you something. Oftentimes in these jobs, the families stay in the cities and the man leaves and goes to the job. So a lot of people gave Shirley Ralph problems for her man being on different coasts because the mental mindset can't fathom that we're married and y'all living in two separate areas. But let me tell you the other side that you all probably don't see. A lot of these men that work in tech, who have been working it for years, their wives don't live in the cities in which they work in. They stay an hour away. That man rents a room in somebody else's house and goes home on the weekend. Why? Because he know the greater good at the end of the road. I only need to be here for 5 years. Why? Because I know this job is going to pay me and I'm going to keep my head down for the next 5 years. I'm going to get paid 6, 7, 8, 9, a million for the next 5 years. I got a family to feed and kids to get to college. We trying to retire so we can go do our thing. You know what them men do? They were like, I'm over here making this money. I'm like, where your wife at? Oh, she back at home. Oh, I see her this weekend. I'm gonna drive over to see her. Oh, she flying over here to see me. She bringing the kids. Oh, she bringing the kids? Oh, yeah. She bringing the kids. Yeah. So this time, me and my family, I'm gonna go home this weekend. Oh, okay. What y'all doing? I rented a charter jet so that I could take my family down to Jamaica for the weekend. And we're staying at this resort because, we had a friend of ours here at the office has has a timeshare on this resort, and they don't use it but once every 2 or 3 years, so they're giving it to us to use. So I just went and got us a jet. We're gonna pack up and we're going. Meanwhile, in the meantime, we over here like Damn, why the turkey hut closed down? I was going in there to twerk on some grits. In the meantime, we over here talking about, damn, that job. It ain't a lot of black people in the area. I totally understand and get it, but sometimes you gonna have to buckle down, make the sacrifice, do what you gotta do. Yeah, that manager don't like me. Yeah, I don't like that manager. Yeah, I don't like this person, but F that. I'm gonna make this money. And guess what? I'm going home. Just saying. I agree, Easy. They sacrificing every day, going with the car, the time, the mental, the prep, the clothes. You might well make your commute easy. Going down the street, get you an apartment. Tell a wife, a husband. I ain't finna do all of that. We're gonna stay over here. When we need to go see the fam, we know how to drive. Yep, that's right, Jasmine. Accredited investor. They don't want that. Jasmine, you tell me you say you're trying to get the to Cheryl. Yeah. Either you say it costs 50K just for my children to be in daycare, correct? I just want you all to understand that sometimes the goal and the path to get there is not going to be easy. And sometimes you can make it a little easier for yourself, but it may not be in your community. The Colorados, the Los Gatos, the Silicon Valleys, the Seattles. You may have to step out. Like like Andre 3000 say, sometimes you got to come from behind the piano. And this may be one of them times. We are in those times where you're going to have to come from behind the piano. It's time for you to take your position. It's time for you to take your position in tech and start snatching these seats. I don't care nothing about DUI. I don't care nothing about DEI. I'm snatching everything. What is that position look like it's for me? Yep. I'm snatching. Oh, yep. Yep. That look like I need to be there. I'm snatching. You said I knew a guy getting his Series 7 and his Series 63 and CPA trying to get that $2 million job as a financial engineer quant. Yep. And we were arguing about 50K job. Yep. And said, it's hard, or we are doing hard. My husband and I both just transitioned into tech roles, and we have 4 children. We're doing what we gotta do. Yeah. Thank you, Glozy. Look, snatch, stay, and grab the next one. All right, that's your goal. Snatch, stay, grab the next one. When you stay, is you building wealth and you building skills. You got to remember, every skill set that you have is an intangible asset. It may not pay off right now, but it will pay later. It will pay later. Yeah, I have more content too. I guess I got to save for next week, Hundy. We're at our 2 hour mark. I'm gonna let the people determine if we stay or go. I could do 30 more minutes only if you guys want me to. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to do 30 more. If not, I'm out. That's right, AMW. You said you just got out of class. I'm with you. So check it. I tell you to follow the money. Follow the money. Let's go. Let's go talk some money. All right. I talk about this all the time. 1 trillion is going into the DoD for 2026. 850 billion went in it for 2025. 850 billion this year, 1 trillion next year. So much so that Elon Musk, Andrew, and a couple of others, Meta included, are starting a consortium to go after government contracts for $850 billion. You think they're not gonna stick around for the 1 trillion? Absolutely. Right? So, SOCOM is searching for tactical forensics tools to exploit data from vehicles, smartphones, and drones. USOCOM acquisition. Let me pull this up bigger. Okay. All right. I'm missing something, am I? No. Yeah. Okay. USOCOM Command Acquisition Technology and Logistics Directorate plans to evaluate new solutions for industry to help commandos extract and analyze critical data from a variety of systems. As smart as you all are, you all don't work together enough to go after and create and innovate solutions. There's nothing wrong with working, but there's also nothing wrong with creating. But it's also nothing wrong with working and create and working for someone that created as well too, right? So, as part of SOCOM latest tactical forensics initiative, officials from the program office, the PEO office for tactical information systems, are eyeing vendors capable with capabilities to facilitate for vehicle forensics exploitation, unmanned system exploitation, and document and media exploitation, according to the special notice from according to the special notice about the effort issued on Tuesday. I mean on Monday. We'll bring that open right there. For vehicle forensics, the Command Program Management Office for Identity Intelligence and Exploitation are looking for tools that will enable the extraction and analysis of data from infotainment and telematic systems, key fob, location, and navigation service. Your infotainment system is ran by Linux majority of the time. How can I exploit those infotainment systems? You know that car that you turn in that you said, "Oh, I put in my navigation and all I gotta do is click this," and the people say, "Yeah, we're gonna wipe that." The dealers never really wipe it. You can go to the junkyard now and pull that information up. I can get your home address off the last one. I was able to track down where my car went that I sold, and I was able to still remote start that car. I had to call them and let them know that, I could still, I know where the car is at and I can remote start it. I'm just letting y'all know that you didn't do a good job. All right. Next one. They're looking for vehicle diagnostics and tire pressure monitoring systems to support exploration, operational exploitation of modern legacy vehicle systems. According to the request for information, capability should also include remote access solutions, JTAG interfaces, CPU architecture. You're not gonna get CPU architecture by not going to school. CPU architecture. You would get this in your computer engineering class. Well, you got an input device, you got your CPU, your control unit, your logic unit, your memory, and then your output. Just at a basics, right? Just it's like they say, it is a simplified diagram. This is very simple. This is a very small diagram. We can come over here. This is, that class that everybody always say they hate taking. That assembly class that everybody always talking about. We don't want to take that. Go look into that. Blow this up. This is how computers talk. Underneath all of that, right? Underneath all of that, I gotta send commands to the registers, right? And when you learn this in your computer engineering class by taking assembly, and if you don't want to go and take assembly classes at somebody's college, you could take assembly. Now, let's go look at edX. And let's type in assembly. All right. Assembly language, malware, and assembly language introduction right here. Let's look at that. I know I clicked on it. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, I guess this is it. No. Let me go here. You can get it on what you call it? What's the name of it? What's the word I'm looking for? Udemy. Coursera probably has it. Let me look. Let me look at this. Was it exorcism? Right here. Want to learn assembly and master x86-64 right here. They got 53 different coding exercises that you can go through and learn assembly. And it looks just like this. You can start with a Hello World program where you'll learn how to write Hello World in assembly. Great times. Jojo Hemi Queen, thank you. Right? Where is my thingy? Where am I at? Is that, I'm trying to figure out where my thing is at. I think it's this. Yep. In the age where drones and other types of unmanned systems are proliferating, special operation forces aim to take advantage of them to support exploitation ops. Specifically, SOCOM is interested in capability to perform physical and logical extractions from robotic platforms. These tools must enable the acquisition of various types of data, including but not limited to flight paths, mission logs, payloads, sensor data, command and control communications, firmware and software, artifacts, encryption keys, system configurations, and metadata. The solution should provide a broad capability with diverse UXS platforms, including aerial, ground, maritime systems, regardless of the manufacturer or proprietary architecture, officials wrote in the RFI. Meanwhile, the command is also, looking for software and other tech support to support mobile forensics and computer forensics. This includes the ability to enable non-destructive exploitation, basic analysis, and forensic imaging a wide variety of devices to include iOS, Android, smartphones, feature phones, and foreign chipsets, including powered off pre-boot, powered on, authenticated with credentials, locked and unlocked using logical and physical extraction types. For computer forensics, additional areas of interest are RAM capture and specific targeted triage. Tech for cellular, tech for cellular and media exploitation could support the extraction, compilation, and translation, and the analysis of contextual information that is stored into the DoD recognized formats for purpose or aggregation and comparison against other data locally. I was going to say logically and through authoritative databases, officials wrote, noting a desire for the ability to create digital copies of encrypted and non-encrypted media storage media. Additionally, SOCOM is interested in rugged, waterproof, bore scope cameras that can capture high resolution 4K imagery and video, work in a variety of operational environments with low latency, and again, DDoS, and then maintain compatibility with existing data transmission and storage systems. The command is planning to conduct technical evaluations of vendors this spring. Subsequent operation testing and evaluation is slated for this summer. Now I clicked on, where am I at? The RFI, and it's out here on SOCOM. They want a response by the 14th of February. You have 15 days to come up with your response to their RFI and then go from there. So, who's going to respond? Who's going to get together and respond? Right? We'll talk about searching RFIs and so forth. See, FSRS.gov role migration is live. Show details. No, I don't want to talk about how she became a millionaire at 37. No open telemetry. Yeah. This is important. It goes back to what I was just talking about before. I landed my big dream job, right? In tech, and realized it wasn't for everyone. Why did they say it wasn't for everyone? Gen Z employee landed their dream job as a full-time software engineer at a magnificent seven company. While they love their job, the fast pace, the high pressure, the environment of big tech isn't for everyone. They emphasize perks and financial gains shouldn't shadow passion for coding and innovation. And I want to stop right there because here's the thing: passion versus I need to make sure that I'm able to keep up and innovate and maintain my mental space are those things are separate. Not only those things are separate, another big thing that comes out of to me that just comes out of this, everybody isn't gonna code. You're just not. You're not gonna code. You may script, but you're not gonna code. And those things are different. Right? Those things are different. So what it say? I immigrated to the US with the vision of landing a job at a tech behemoth. My first breakthrough came through the summer year of my freshman year as a software developer. Internships, networking, LinkedIn, research, and freelances to build my portfolio got me in the door. I attended hackathons, Tree Hacks, LA Hacks, Technica, and conferences like Grace Harper and Afrotech. I started these efforts while I was still a student, taking on several odd jobs, including working as IT support, doing unpaid work for startups, and teaching assistantships for 6 core computers science courses in college. I also started consistently posting on LinkedIn and writing a tech blog. My second tech big breakthrough came when I scored an opportunity to intern at a big tech company in Silicon Valley. My dream hasn't disappointed me. I love working in big tech. The perks are endless. Gorgeous office, uh, uh, free or subsidized food, drinks, high impact work, great retirement and health benefits, fitness reimbursement, intelligent workers, a high paycheck, and more. That doesn't mean big tech isn't right for everyone. I want to pause there. I want y'all to understand that big tech, yes, isn't for everyone. Do I think everyone should aspire? If that's your dream, go for it. But understand there's a 5 to 10 year window when it comes to big tech. I want to say probably five, even maybe even less. If you're gonna go in and you're gonna make that 720,000, save every damn thing. Save as much money as you can. If you're gonna go in and you're gonna make the 300,000, save everything, save as much as you can. I'm not telling you not to go enjoy. You just may not enjoy the trip to Italy. That's $5,000. Take the $2,000 trip, Italy trip, right? We got to get into the mindset of I get in, I save. I get in, I save. Give yourself 5 to 10 years. And listen, in 10 years in tech working, you could be a millionaire, right? But you're gonna have to save. You're gonna have to buy that used car. You're gonna already beat it up anyway. I get it. Oh, trust me. I wanna I'm the queen of the car buying. I want to ride in luxury. I want to go fast. I want to zoom, 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 zoom. I want the top down. I want to do all those things. I want to. I want to. I want to make it do what it do. Yeah, I want to do that. It depends. It depends on on the job, right? Says it may not be for everybody. Mm, yes and no. It may not be for everyone and everybody for a long extended period of time. You may have to do one and done, two and done, three and done, right? You don't like being pressured to work at a fast pace. Listen, it's gonna people that's gonna be there that don't believe you not supposed to be there. It's gonna be haters. Let me tell you, haters come in all forms. They graduated from Harvard. They graduated from Yale. They graduated from Berkeley. They graduated from Brown. They came out of Harvey Mudd. They're alumni, long-term alumni. They even come from Howard. They went to a PWI. Haters come in all forms. Again, compete against yourself. Do nothing but stellar work. Record everything you do. Have a backup of what you did. Never turn in the final draft as the only draft. Always keep a backup to that draft. These are just facts. People will take your work and claim it as their own, but you always have to have the original. Always make sure you got a backup plan to what you currently do. Make sure you increase your skill set so anyway somebody want to come through tiptoe and offer you or retirement for retire you in 8 months and give you 25,000 on the way out. You got a backup plan. Gym ain't the only damn skills you got. I saw that 40,000 people took the Trump buyout. 40,000 took it. Like, fuck it, I'm out. Who gonna do the work? When them job openings coming up? Just saying. Number two, you're not in constant learning and up and skills updating. The tech industry is fast paced. which is further amplified when you work for a highly innovative big tech company. Candidates for this field must be comfortable adapting quickly to tools, frameworks, and APIs. The AI tools are first introduced. Many big tech companies will immediately encourage their employees to use them to work more efficiently. I've seen a surge in AI tools in my job since the start of 2024. You're not prepared for high stress environment. You not prepared for high stress environment? Oh, okay. Let's go back because we let's talk about it because we already talked about it a little bit, right? We already talked about it a little bit. We already said you got to commute because you don't want to live in the area, so you stress before you even get to work. You didn't meal prep. You got to eat at work, or you got to go out and eat, or you don't eat at all that day. You don't have your water. You didn't take your vitamins. You ain't do your thing. So you already stressed before you get to work. You already know your kids are failing because you don't have enough money to get them a tutor. And you went and married the woman where you say education didn't matter. So she can't even teach your kids. And you can't teach you because you ain't at home. And you don't have time to learn new math. Because you got to go stop by your mama house on the way home. Because your little brother is challenging your mama, or your little brother in jail, or your mama's sick, or your daddy's sick. Pick a struggle. Number 4, you're lured by tech perks rather than making a difference. Business value. You can have both. You can have perks and business value. My thing is understand what the value is to your family while you're doing this. What are you doing it for? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Are you looking at because you want to buy a house? Are you looking at because you want to buy a second house? Are you doing this because you try to get in retirement? What you trying to do? Right? You got to figure that out. I thought this is a good article to kind of go through what we were just talking about. Got to pick a struggle, right? Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Jobs. Big tech set to invest $325 billion this year in AI bills come under scrutiny. Watch the max exodus from the cloud. It's already happening. Watch people go back on prem with the GPUs. Watch. You got the data center. Some people gonna pay the bills, but they're gonna be like, Amazon plans to spend an estimated $100 billion on AI in 2025. Amazon spent 26.3 billion in capital expenditures during the fourth quarter of 2024. It says the vast majority of the spending will reportedly go towards Amazon Web Service and AI development. Thursday announcement comes amid a concerted push by nearly every major player in AI space to invest heavily in AI. Earlier in the week, Alphabet CEO told investors that Google plans to invest $75 billion in AI expenditures. This year Meta will likely spend $60 billion and $65 billion. For Microsoft, it has committed to $80 billion. Amazon revealed in December that they're partnering with Anthropic, maker of Claude large language models, to train the company's next generation of LLMs on its newly released Trainium 2 processors. To that end, Amazon is currently constructing data center housing hundreds of thousands of chips Per Jazzy, the company revealed its Trainium 2 successor, Trainium 3 later this year. All right. Of course, this is also in conjunction with the whole thing with DeepSeek. I got 30 seconds. Tech giants are lining up over 300 billion in AI spend. Their CEOs are betting cheaper models will drive AI demand. And last but not least, a new DEI fault line is being drawn in the Silicon Valley, right? And that's fine. The needle never moved anyway. Let's be clear. It was still 2% in Silicon Valley, and it's still 2% now. Farron, you say your goal is to do DevSecOps. It's now become a DevSecOps platform engineer. That's really where it's at. Yeah, Farron, you're gonna need your RHCSA most definitely. I mean, like I say, if you don't take the class, at least understand the questions that they ask you. If you don't do the exam. Yeah, Amazon recruiting AI engineers, so is IBM. Everybody's recruiting AI engineers. Everybody's looking for people to build language learning models. Everybody's looking for people to understand how to implement them at the edge. That is super huge. It will be for the next 10 years. We're already doing your cell phones, your computers, your laptops, the whole nine. You can't turn on your phone now without, was it Meta AI or AI on your laptop or AI on your tablet? It's everywhere. Guess what? Your data is being used everywhere. What am I going to do with this data? What am I going to do? How I'm training my tablet to only feed me these things. I'm training my tablet to only feed me these things. I'm training my phone. It's only going to feed me these things. You're in a perpetual feed of information and you don't have nothing to do with it because you ain't making no money off of it. You learn it and you don't make no money off of it. Yes, you know when Simone Biles is gonna have her baby, what you gonna how you gonna make money off of it? For all the data that y'all know about celebrities, how do you make money off of it? For all the data and stuff that you know about sports, how do you make money off of it? Everything that you look at after you leave this live, ask yourself, how can I make money off of that? And you might, I don't want to make no money off of it. I just like looking at it. Time waits for no one. You will be 70, 75 before you know it. God willing. Rest in peace to your boy. What's his name? They're just Murder Inc. What's your boy name? What should we do with name? What should we do with name? I forget his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Rest in peace to that man. Yeah, Irv got it. Irv. Rest in peace to that man. 54. You can't get back time. You can't get back time. Know when to strike and how to strike and be ready to strike. You can see how quickly these folks are dying. Yes, we had a great run, Gen X. We had a great run in the 90s for the hip hop era, but look at the men now, baby. DMX, Irv, the list goes on. They ain't making it to 60. So y'all can continue down this path or you don't ease your pain. Ease your pain, ease your trouble, ease your mind. Take care. Get some solace. But just know, you know how to strike. You know how to build your confidence. You know how to do that. If you don't know how you build your confidence, come to Wednesday shows. Come to Wednesday nights. The Wednesday night goal is not to tear you down. The Wednesday night goal is to show you how to talk, to show you how to get in the lanes, to show you where they're at, to show you what you need to be doing. Just a mindset change. Just a mindset change. All right. I ran over 4 minutes. And we started on time today, so it's not late. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe.